again, because she's so young, she's not been conditioned to believe that this event that's happened to her is this, big event that she should feel sorry for herself. Welcome to the Ryan Rice Show, where we talk about what we learned yesterday that we can apply today so that we can be better tomorrow. I hope you enjoy and subscribe. Happy Saturday, everyone. Today's podcast, I want to talk about there's a situation in our household that happened earlier this week, and there was such a beautiful, subtle lesson built in, and I wanted to share it with you because this event happened, and it made me think about things that have happened in my business over the past couple of years, and it actually aligned with conversation I had with another business owner in real estate this year who is struggling. And there was just this beautiful lesson, and it tied it all in, and it was an unfortunate event that I think provided a great lesson. And so here's what happened. On Wednesday, earlier this week, my 5-year-old was riding her scooter outside, and she fell, and she broke her arm. And what was so special about this event is because my daughter is 5, she has not yet been conditioned to believe that this was this, big event and that she should feel sorry for herself and that it was terrible, so on and so forth. And so she came crying to me. I looked at the arm. I pulled her sleeve up. It was very clearly broken. Her arm that was supposed to be straight, she broke her ulna, by the way, which is, there's 2 bones in the forearm. The ulna is the inside bone. She broke that one, and she held up her forearm to me, and it was very curved, and it's supposed to be straight. So I knew right away it was broken. And obviously she was in pain, and so she cried from the pain. But then once we got her to the hospital and, we got her taken care of, it was literally like nothing happened, right? There was not an ounce of her feeling sorry for herself. Anyone that kind of expressed sorrow towards her, she was just her 5-year-old self. Like, it is what it is. She was, the second she got it taken care of, she was happy. Right when she woke up from her sedation, so she didn't need surgery, but she had the arm set, which just means like a bone doctor came in and like pressed the bone back, and then they put a cast on her, and they did this under sedation. She woke up, we gave her a popsicle, and I mean, she was just right back to her normal self, and she's been her normal self since then. And what I think is so cool about this lesson is, again, because she's so young, she's not been conditioned to believe that this event that's happened to her is this, big event that she should feel sorry for herself and, go into a state of depression or, whatever the case may be. And I observed this, and I kind of thought to myself, like, this is actually a really cool lesson about how we learn belief systems, right? And typically we grow up, and there's events that happen when we're growing up, and those around us or those close to us, they react to this event that happens to us, and how they react tells a story about how we should believe a certain situation and what that specific situation means. And so then we adopt those beliefs, and then we go about our lives because of these events that have happened, believing these belief systems until we challenge them, right? Until events in our life happen again and we challenge them, or like, oh wait, like, why do I feel like this? Or what this certain thing happened? Why does that mean that I need to believe X or believe Y? And so we grow up with all of these kind of subtle beliefs that we get taught around us, and then we spend a lot of our future lives like figuring out what beliefs do we need to keep because they serve us, and what beliefs did we learn when we grow up that we didn't even realize that we learned, but that would be in service to ourselves if we can break them. And I thought this specific scenario was so great because again, my 5-year-old, she broke her arm, and it wasn't a big deal. Outside of the pain, there was no time where she felt sorry for herself, and it was just another event. And now she's got a cast on, and she's going to have it on for 4 to 6 weeks, but she's her normal self. There is not a single minute that has gone by where she's felt sorry for herself. And I truly believe it's because, like, we have not conditioned her to believe that it should be this big event. So here's how I apply this to business, and where I kind of want to tie it all in, and what I think might bring some value to you guys is in my business over the past like 3.5 years or so. There have been multiple repeated times where I've been kicked in the face. And I think if you're an entrepreneur out there, I think that's just part of being an entrepreneur. And if you've been one for a while, undoubtedly you have been kicked in the face. And a lot of times when we get kicked hard, or when we face some significant adversity, some of the biggest things that we struggle with are like, so I'll speak for myself personally. When I got kicked in the face, is like, oh my gosh, what are the people who I used to work with in my 13-year career going to think? What is, my friends and family going to think? What are all these people going to think? And so, real quick, as you guys know, I just recently started this podcast. If you could give it a rating with a quick tap of the thumb, that would mean the world to me. And even more importantly, it could help spread the word to a broader audience, which in turn could help change a life. Thank you so much, and let's get back to the show. I would get kicked in the face, and then I would have this fear of, well, what if this happened, and what if this happened, and what might, so-and-so think. And the reason I went through those things is because I was conditioned to believe that when I got kicked in the face, that it was bad. And it was bad because I have expectations of myself to do really well. It was bad because, I made up in my head that the people that I used to work with at this Fortune 30 company might have expectations that I, go try something on my own and might fail. And now if I do fail, I'm going to fulfill those expectations and they're going to be laughing or whatever the case may be. And in reality, they're not even thinking about me, right? And I thought it was funny timing too, because I had someone in my network who is running a real estate investment business reached out to me this week. And he said, hey, he's going through really tough times and he's getting kicked in the face right now. And he's like, I got a path out, but what I'm really struggling with is dealing with like 1 week, I'll have a great week and I'll feel really good. And then another week, it'll be a really tough week. And it is just driving me crazy mentally. And he knows some of the stuff and some of the stories around the things that I went through in my business. And so he said, how did you like deal with it emotionally? And I thought my daughter breaking her arm was such a good parallel to when we go through tough times in business, because the only reason we go through tough times in business and we get emotionally distraught is because we have other expectations, right? We have expectations that they don't go bad, or we're conditioned to believe that things should be going in a different manner. And so we feel bad emotionally. But what if we were conditioned to believe that when bad stuff happens in the business, like that's actually what's supposed to happen, and it happens literally 1,000 times in a row, and we're not going to get to the other side, or we're not going to start to see some good outcomes until it happens 1,000 times. And how would things change? How would we feel emotionally if we were conditioned to believe that it's supposed to have bad things are supposed to happen 1,000 times before we see anything good? And I thought that was kind of an interesting like thought process, or an interesting frame. And I think it's a frame that can serve anyone that's in business, because again, if you've done something on your own and you've done it for a long period of time, you probably got kicked in the face. And I think if we can condition ourselves to believe that that's normal and come at it from a frame of like, what if this happened literally 1,000 times before anything else good happened in the business, then we would just keep going. And you know what? We would shift our focus from feeling sorry about ourselves, or from, what the situation means, or what the bad thing that we're going through might mean to either us, or what other people might think about us going through this bad situation. We shift our focus away from that. And you know what? We just very clearly define what are the activities that I need to do in order to, whether it's generate revenue or whatever the constraint is in your business, right? So if my constraint is on the sales and marketing side right now, then I'm going to shift my focus entirely to all of the activities that I need to do on the sales and marketing side. And that's just what I'm going to focus on. And regardless of what happens, like, I'm not going to condition myself to believe that anything is good or anything is bad. And that way, when I have a good week, I remove the need to feel excited about it, because I just focused on the activities that I was doing. And if I had a bad week, then I don't feel bad about it. And so if we give the good weeks power to make us feel excited, then that means we give the bad weeks power to take that excitement from us. And if we're not conditioned to believe anything, if we're just focused on what our behaviors are, then I think we can just make sure that we're focused on the right thing. And I think that's kind of a neat hack on how to endure being an entrepreneur, because it's been my experience that anyone that's done something kind of special as an entrepreneur has endured a lot and has gone through this period of getting kicked in the face repeatedly over and over. And then the ones you hear epic stories about are the ones that just keep going and they don't give up. And so I thought that was a good story worth sharing. I'll keep it short and sweet today. But, my daughter broke her arm, and there was this super, super special, subtle thing that I observed in how she dealt with it. And I think it's amazing that in and of itself, I think, proves that when we're not conditioned to believe anything, then we just go on with our lives. And I think as adults, the more we can be conscious of the beliefs that we have adopted over the years and how we have been conditioned to believe certain things mean certain other things, and we can remove those preconditioned beliefs and just focus on what it is that we're doing, then at that point we become unstoppable, because we can have the power to endure whatever it is that we need to endure, because in all reality, we're not enduring anything, because all we're doing is just focusing on the behavior that we need to do. So I thought that was a good lesson. I think it can be applied in business or in anything that we're doing. And so I wanted to share it with you guys. My daughter's great, by the way. She's doing excellent, running around with a little pink cast, and she couldn't be happier. So, and for all of you that reached out and showed some love to her, I love you guys and I appreciate it. But short and sweet. Hope that was helpful. Hope that was value added. And until the next one, I'll see you. Peace.